Once upon a time, in the kingdom of far, far away, nestled between sparkling rivers and hills that touched the clouds, lived a beautiful princess named Elara. She was known throughout the land for her kindness, her radiant smile, and her long flowing golden hair, which cascaded down her back like a shimmering waterfall. Now, Princess Elara adored her people. She would often stroll through the kingdom, talking to the farmers, listening to the bakers, and playing with the children. She genuinely cared about their happiness and well-being. However, there was one thing that the princess couldn't stand: the sly and deceitful nature of some people. Amongst the townspeople was a cunning merchant named Jasper. He was renowned for his ability to persuade people into buying his exotic goods by weaving tales of their supposed magical powers and incredible benefits. Though his products were often of poor quality, Jasper's silver tongue allowed him to make a handsome profit. One day, the princess stumbled upon Jasper's stall while walking through the market. She stopped by to see what he was selling that day. "Oh, my Princess Elara," boomed Jasper, adjusting his pointy hat and puffing out his chest. "Look at this wondrous comb. It's not just any comb. Oh no, it can make your hair shine brighter than the stars in the night sky." Intrigued by his words, the princess picked up the comb. It was intricately carved, but she couldn't see anything particularly magical about it. Undeterred, Jasper continued, "And just wait till you hear this. This comb can also grant you eternal youth, making you forever as beautiful as the day you were born." Now, the princess knew that such claims were preposterous, but she decided to test Jasper's honesty. She gave him a mischievous smile and said, "Well then, show me." She placed the comb against her head and waited. Of course, nothing happened. The comb was just a plain old comb. "See, princess, as I was saying," Jasper began, but the princess cut him off. "Enough of these silly tricks. You tricked me enough." "Everyone knows your tricks, Jasper. You fool no one anymore." She turned to leave, but Jasper called after her. "Hey, princess, wait a minute. I didn't trick you. The comb truly is magical, but only for those who believe. If you don't believe, it won't work." Then he added in a low voice, "I sense a lack of faith within you, princess. Are you sure you've always been truthful?" The princess paused and turned back to Jasper. She had never considered her own actions in relation to honesty. She thought about how sometimes she would embellish the truth to protect her friends, or when she would tease her handmaiden by pretending to be a grumpy old woman. The princess realized that she had told fibs, just small ones. Could she really say that she was completely honest? Jasper, seeing the turmoil in the princess's eyes, smiled slyly. He knew he had her right where he wanted her. "I suppose we all have our little secrets," he said, chuckling. "Let us just say that we've all stretched the truth a bit from time to time." The princess stared at him, realizing that she couldn't prove that she was any more truthful than he was. The next day, the king and queen invited the royal advisors and nobles for a grand feast in the castle. The princess had overheard her parents discussing an issue in the kingdom, and she wanted to find a solution. She believed that honesty was the most important quality in a leader, and she wanted to appoint someone honest to the role. But how could she know who was honest when she herself was not entirely truthful? She pondered the question throughout the day, growing increasingly troubled. Finally, during the feast, while everyone was enjoying a delicious fruit tart, the princess spoke up. "I've been thinking," she said, "that it is high time we find a wise and honest advisor to help my parents better govern the kingdom. Can you think of anyone, my lords and ladies, who possesses both wisdom and unwavering honesty?" The nobles exchanged glances. They were flattered that the princess sought their input, but none of them wanted to admit that they were completely honest. After all, they were human, and everyone makes mistakes. Just then, Jasper cleared his throat and said, "I believe I know the perfect candidate, princess." He looked at the stunned faces around him and continued, "Why don't we look outside the kingdom? There are plenty of honest and wise individuals in the neighboring lands. We could send a delegation to seek one out." The princess appreciated Jasper's suggestion, but she still wanted someone from amongst them. She looked at the crowd and suddenly noticed the baker, a humble man whom she had spoken to numerous times. He always seemed honest and straightforward. The princess smiled and said, "Actually, I do know an honest person, and he's right here amongst us." She pointed at the baker. "I've often seen him help customers choose the best bread for their needs. And he always gives fair prices." The nobles frowned upon hearing this. They had been serving the kingdom for years, and yet the princess chose a simple baker over them. Hurt and angry, they began whispering amongst themselves, grumbling about how unfair it was. Overhearing their complaints, Jesper approached the nobles. "My friends," he said, his voice dripping with false concern. "I understand your disappointment, but surely you don't begrudge the princess for wanting what's best for the kingdom, do you? Maybe the baker does possess the qualities that she seeks." The nobles fell silent, unable to argue with Jasper's words. Then the king spoke up. "My dear daughter, I admire your desire to appoint an honest advisor, but you must realize that absolute honesty is a rare quality to find. Your subjects have served us faithfully for many years, and have proven themselves time and again to be loyal. Why would you discard their loyalty for a mere claim of honesty?" The princess realized that she had made a mistake in her eagerness to do what she thought was right. She had offended the people who had served the kingdom for generations. She had judged them without giving them a chance. She turned to her parents and apologized. "I am sorry, Father and Mother. I acted hastily and caused distress to those who have given their all to serve us. I promise to be more mindful of their feelings in the future." Seeing the sincerity in her daughter's eyes, the queen stepped forward and embraced her. "It's all right, my dear. We all stumble sometimes. What matters is that you learn from it and move forward." The king nodded in agreement. After the princess had apologized to the nobles, they all gathered together, including the baker, and brainstormed ways to solve the issues plaguing the kingdom. Despite the earlier tension, the meeting ended on a positive note, with everyone feeling valued and heard. In the end, the princess learned a valuable lesson about honesty. She realized that judging others for their perceived dishonesty was unfair when she herself was not perfectly honest. Furthermore, she discovered that while honesty was an admirable trait, it should not come at the expense of unity and respect. By apologizing and working together, the princess and the people of faraway kingdom resolved their differences and continued to work towards making the kingdom a better place for everyone. From that day forward, the princess made sure to be truthful in her dealings with others and treated everyone with fairness and respect. She grew to become a beloved and wise ruler, known not just for her beauty, but also for her compassion and sense of justice. The moral of the story is simple. Before pointing fingers at others for lying, ask yourself if you're being honest in your own way. Remember, true strength comes not from never lying, but from admitting our flaws and striving to be better. As the saying goes, be honest with yourself because you owe the truth to those who love you. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more wonderful stories. Have a great day.